All right, let's kick things off. This is going to be exciting. This may be a longer video. I'm guessing it will be because I'm going to literally walk through the whole process from start to finish. But keep in mind, it's only going to take this long because I'm actually sharing how to do it with you. In reality, this stuff doesn't actually take that long to do, especially once you get good at it. But we're going to spend a lot of time specifically in this video on building the actual website out. So number one, the platform we're going to use. I thought about making a whole PowerPoint on this, but there's really only 3 points, so I think that this just makes more sense. The platform we'll use is called WordPress. It looks just like this. This is what the back end looks like. You have pages, you have appearance where you can install different themes. Think of this like a template. And then you have plugins. These are different things like you can add in like plugins that help you do SEO better. So we'll get into all of that. This is what the back end looks like. This is what the front end looks like outside of the box. Not very impressive outside of the box. But we will use something called Elementor, which is a plugin for WordPress. That is a page builder. That's the reason why we use WordPress. It comes with so many different features that makes it easy for anyone to get a website up, even if you don't know how to program or you're not tech savvy. WordPress was probably one of the very first things that I learned. And I would say that just learning WordPress probably really was 90% of the reason that it kicked me into this direction of digital marketing and SEO and lead gen. And I think without learning this skill, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. So don't be intimidated by it. It really isn't that hard. It's kind of like typing in a Microsoft Word document or sending an email. Like it's with this page builder, it's literally kind of like drag and drop and you just type stuff in. So you don't need to know how to do anything complicated. So we're going to use the Elementor page builder for that reason, because I want to show you that you can literally build just about any website you want using that page builder. That's why I chose to go this route rather than just show you like some out of the box template, because you're going to basically build your own templates with Elementor. Okay, the second thing that you're going to need going into this video is a domain name. So a domain name is just like yoursite.com. Now, if you're already working with a client, they might already have a domain name, and that's fine. Okay, so that's the domain name. You'll need that. And you'll also need hosting. Hosting is how the public visits your website on the internet. So when they go and they type in slingersiding.com, if you don't have web hosting, it won't go anywhere. So web hosting is what makes it go. It hosts it on the internet so that it can go to your website that you build like this. Okay, so let me talk about that. If you want to go the super cheap route, you're on a shoestring budget, you can go into Google, you can type in web hosting talk forum, and you can click the one that says shared hosting offers on this forum. And this forum will have deals on here for super cheap. Let's take a look and just see what's here at the moment. So $1.50 a month for hosting right here. I mean, super cheap. We're talking $10 for the domain name and $1.50 a month for hosting. Like, I literally don't know any other business model where you can get started for that little of an amount. So if you want to go and get sort of like a lower tier host that's very cheap, that would be this route. The route I would recommend you go if you have the budget for it, I'll leave a link to below this video in this lesson somewhere on my free training series on how to set up hosting so that you can host multiple websites. What that means is that you can build as many websites as you want under the same host. It's a little bit more expensive. I think it comes out to about $10 a month, maybe a little less. I think they make you pay the whole year up front though to do this and get that deal. But Bluehost is the host I recommend if you're starting off and you want to go that route. So actually, it says they actually start at $3.95 a month in this video. Let's click on the link and look. $2.95 a month. They have a deal going on right now. So they change this deal all the time based on the amount of people I'm able to send here. So I appreciate it if you come here and if you do use my link. Obviously, I get credit for that. It's an affiliate link. But at the same time, it helps all of us because the more people I send, the more they discount that link. So like I said, the only catch is I think they make you pay a year or two up front. But obviously, that's a good deal to be able to host as many sites as you want. If you go with this type of thing for $1.50 a month, it's a lower grade host, and I believe they only give you one website. So this way you can host all of them. So yeah, you only need to watch basically this first video to figure out how to set up the hosting. These other videos, setting up email accounts might be useful for you, but this video, the beginner-friendly website design tutorial, don't even bother watching that because I'm going to be covering something much more advanced here in this video with website design using Elementor. Okay, so that is how you get to this point. So you can pause this video and get to the point where I'm at right now, which is my WordPress site setup. And you can do that by going here and watching this tutorial on how to do that. All right, so with that out of the way, we're going to get into configuring the setup, the basic site setup, I should say. The first thing I want to talk to you about before we do that is what's called permalinks. Permalink is basically on your site when you type it in, like pauljames.com. A permalink would be like if I created a new page on my site and it was about Slinger siding. A permalink would be like Slinger-siding, meaning that they would visit this URL in order to get to that page. So you want to make sure your permalink settings are set up properly, because sometimes WordPress will do something funny where they'll do like p equals 1, 2, 3 with random numbers, and that will go to your Slinger siding page. So the way we configure our permalinks is under settings and under permalinks right here. And so you can see mine is actually set up the wrong way right now. It's set up for day and name. So we don't want that, because this is what that permalink is going to look like. It's going to be, you know, the date, and then it's going to say whatever the name of the page is. Instead, we want it to be a simple post name structure. So just select the one that says post name, which means it's just going to be the name of the page or the post. So WordPress has what's called posts. You can think of those like blog posts, and then they have a page. I normally just build up pages, but the post name structure is the same thing. It'll be the name of the page. So I'm going to save those changes. You'll also notice something about my site. If you look at my permalink, let me copy my permalink here and paste it above this. So it's pasting kind of weird. Let me center that and make it a little bit bigger. You'll notice my structure says this little NSM thing in front of the post name. The reason why it does that is because I installed this WordPress site on a subdirectory, and the subdirectory is called NSM. You don't need to worry about what that is, but the reason why I did that was so that I could create a brand new site, since I already have a site on pauljames.com. So this was the only way that I could create another website on pauljames.com. I had to create it so that the homepage was NSM. So just ignore that in my permalinks as I'm showing you examples moving forward. Just pretend the NSM isn't there, because on yours it won't be. It's just like that on mine because I had to set it up that way to create a duplicate site. So with that being said, we've got our permalink set up, so that's good. The next thing we want to set up is the title of our site, and always make sure you save the changes. So the title of your site is going to be controlled under the general settings. And you can see right here it's called site title. So you're going to want to name the site title whatever your site is called. So if you named your site Slinger Siding Pros, that's going to be the name of your site title. And then in the tagline, this isn't that important, but what I usually do is I usually will put my keyword in there. Like siding contractor or something like that. I already have siding right here, so it's probably not that important to put siding again. Maybe I'll put something different like exterior contractor or something like that. But if you didn't have that there, you know, it might be something you'd want to put in the tagline too. It's not super important, but go ahead and set up a title, set up a tagline, and save those changes. The other thing is under privacy, you can go ahead and create a new privacy policy page if there's not one already there. It looks like I already have one there. Let me open it up, preview it. Okay, so they already have one created for me, so that's good. We'll talk more about creating these different pages. So yeah, that looks good. Under reading settings, We're going to play around with options and reading settings later on, but there is this search engine visibility section. Make sure that this box isn't checked. You can see the box says discourage search engines from indexing the site. That means that your site will never rank in Google if this box is checked. So make sure you don't check that box. Okay, so we've pretty much gone through all the settings that we need to. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to install a couple of different things. We're going to install a couple different WordPress plugins. So we do that by coming under plugins and clicking add new, and we can then search for the plugin we want to install. So we're going to install Elementor. That's the page builder plugin that I've been talking a lot about. Oh, I spelt it wrong. Okay, so there it is. It's this one. You can see a lot of people use it, 5 million installations. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to install that plugin. And every time you install something on WordPress, it's also going to ask you to activate it. So go ahead and activate it right away. We don't need to create our first page. If you want to watch the guide on how to use Elementor, you certainly can. I'm sure they probably would do a lot better job of explaining it than I can. But I'm just going to show you the way I do things and the way I've learned. Okay, let's go back under plugins. We're going to add one more plugin right away. The one we're going to add is called Yoast, and this is an SEO plugin. You can use either Yoast or you can use another one called Rank Math. They both basically do the same thing. I've used them both. I'm going to use Yoast on this one. I'm just more used to it, and we'll activate it. What this plugin does is it just helps you control the way that your site is going to show up in a Google search. So, you know, like when you browse Google and you see a website and it says like Slinger siding contractor, if you're looking for a contractor in Slinger, you know, give us a call. Like we can actually control what it says in Google by using this plugin. So that's helpful. Next, we're going to install a WordPress theme. The only reason we even need a theme, since we're using Elementor, is to control both the header of the site, like what shows up in the header in the menu, and the footer of the site, what shows up down here. Other than that, everything in the middle, we're going to actually use Elementor to control, so it doesn't really matter. So I'll show you, I've got two themes that I really like to use. One of them is called Astra, A-S-T-R-A. That's this one. And the other one is called Cadence with a K. This one. I'm going to use Cadence moving forward in this video. Either one is fine. So just go ahead and install, probably just install the one I'm using just to keep things really easy and simple. Okay, so that is all looking good. We've got, and you can see just by activating that, if I refresh the home page, it already looks different. Okay, so you can see how it changed the menu up here. It's very simple. We can customize that, and the footer is very simple. That's why I like this one. You can always hover back over on your, right next to this W symbol, and anytime you click dashboard, it's going to take you back to the dashboard, and anytime you click view site, it'll take you back to the site. Okay, so that is how we get the basic setup going. So just like that, we've got hosting, we've got the domain set up, we've got WordPress installed, we've got our theme installed, and we've got our basic plugins. We're ready to start building out a good looking site. But before we get building, we're gonna add something really important to our site. And this is gonna really help you monitor everything going on with your site. And this is really a critical step. Don't skip this step. It's called Google Search Console. It's a tool by Google that'll help you improve the search performance, just as it says. I use it a lot for helping index my pages quickly and just showing Google, hey, this is what we changed on the site, so that they can come back and update those changes. So you can just go to Google and type in Google Search Console, and then you'll come to this page. Otherwise, it's just search.google.com. And then you'll hit Start Now. Now I've got a lot of client information in here, so I'm probably going to be blurring some stuff out. But basically, you'll come up to the top and click Add Property, or hopefully you'll see it somewhere on the page if you don't have anything in here, where it says Add Property. So click Add Property, and you'll have to test out which one to do, domain or URL prefix. Sometimes it gets kind of tricky with this stuff, I'm going to do URL prefix. I think this one's a little bit easier to set up. So let me go ahead and you just type it in. Now I have to type in what my actual site is, but yours is not going to have this NSM after it, remember, but I have to type that in. They do require you to type the HTTP if you do the URL prefix. We'll hit continue. Okay, I was able to automatically verify ownership of this site because I guess I had it linked up probably to analytics. But you can see here, if I go under settings and ownership verification, I'm going to do that because I'm going to show you how to verify it since yours won't be auto verified, I'm guessing. All right, they're going to prompt you to verify one of these ways. So the easiest way is probably to do this HTML tag. And all you have to do is, you can see, copy the meta tags below and paste into your site's homepage. It should go into the head section. So what we're going to do is, another reason I love WordPress, if we come to plugins and click add new, there's a plugin for this called Insert Headers and Footers. So go ahead and search up that plugin, and this will make it really easy to get the site verified. And we'll click install new on this plugin right here, activate, and I think it throws this under settings. So if we hover over settings, you can see it inserted the plugin there, insert headers and footers. So right here is the scripts and headers. All we got to do now is copy this little tag they gave us, paste it into the header here, and save the changes. And if we click verify, it's going to verify that those changes are in there. Sometimes it takes, you have to let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes or something like that, but it took right away. And it may have took right away just because I already had the site verified in Search Console from, oh, it looks like it verified because I already had pauljames.com in there. So it verified the new version of the site instantly. But that's how you do it. Use the HTML tag and that insert headers and footers option, and now you'll have Search Console set up. This is probably one of the most complicated things that you'll set up throughout the site. So once you have that done and in place, then you're pretty much good to go. Everything else from here on out is a breeze.